Hello guys, I'm back with a RB game this time. We're in the Fiat G55 sottoserie 0. It is a decent airplane. Uh, it is not the fastest, it is not the most maneuverable, it is not the most heavily armed, but it is an all-around balanced fighter. The only problem, in my opinion, it has, when it's stock, it performs very poorly. Really, really poorly. You have no climb rate. You just cannot outclimb anyone. So you have to stay a bit lower to the ground and pick your fights there and let other people of your team manage the higher ones, and yeah. Or you just side climb for a long time. Because it doesn't perform bad at high altitude, it just doesn't climb. That's the biggest problem. We are here in a pretty heavy matchup for the plane. It's a 4.7 match. We're at 4.0. So we can expect some P-51D Mustangs, maybe P-47Ns, Spitfires, F-82s. Oh, or is it even 5.0? Oh, I think it's even 5.0. So even worse. At the start, I try to get a bit away from my teammates and don't want to be the center of attention, because I'm not that familiar with the plane at the moment. I didn't play that much, that many of matches with it before, and I was still not used to it, and I also had some very horrible matches where my team failed completely and I also didn't manage to do anything. At least nothing that helped the team. So I tried to be a bit more cautious and pick my fights wisely this time. One big problem I also see with that plane compared to the predecessor in the Tech 3, the MC205 Series 3. The Series 3 is faster, a lot faster in a straight line, also climbs a lot better. Not sure about the maneuverability. I think that's where the G55 is a bit better. But the climb rate of the MC205 is far superior. You can outclimb nearly anything in that plane. With this one, you definitely have to live with it that you won't be on top or at the highest altitude in the match all the time, and you have to be a bit more cautious or let your teammates drag down the enemy or push them down, depending on which team has the altitude advantage. In this match, the enemy has the altitude advantage and we are down low, even though we are Italian and German aircraft. But P-47s get an air spawn at 2000 meters, F-82 does as well. So it's a bit hard to outclimb them in the first place. So I see my first target here, a Spitfire, who rushes down because another teammate down there is getting attacked by the P-63. I don't follow through because for as far as I noticed, the Italian aircrafts tend to lock up at high speeds very, very heavily. especially the predecessor, the 205, and also the heavier 202 EC. The elevator just won't work if you go far above 700 kilometers an hour. So I'm trying to align a shot here, but it doesn't really work. I'm still too fast for the tight turns they are pulling. I'm also a bit cautious about pulling up too hard here, because the P47 comes along. I managed to evade it, and then I search for my next target. And it is the Spitfire, which evades, but very, very badly. Just flies straight and also climbs, which slows him down even more. 109 gets the P63. And climb after the P47, who tries to dive on me, but he breaks away. Also, P51 is coming in. There is to note that the enemy team has a 3-man squad, which will try to assist the other players, so I'm very cautiously watching all these demon guys here. P47 comes in again. He goes away. Turning into someone who dives after you is... I use it more as a defensive tactic. I don't really think that I will be able to shoot them down if they don't fully commit to it. But if you're low and if you're slower than he is, then pulling such a move is still your best bet. That was very bad shooting here, but yeah, I couldn't really align the plane there because I was upside down. The P47 lost nearly all of its speed because it wanted to turn with the 190. And yeah, I think everybody knows that slow P47s generally are sitting ducks. They have no chance. Get a crit on the D30, but nothing major. Now the P51 tries to run away and team up with his remaining teammates. At this point I wasn't really sure if I should go back to base, and I even thought that it doesn't look that good for us because we were all low, but they don't really, the enemy is also low to the ground as well, so we still have a good chance. P63 attacks our 190 and they collide. So we are one man down, the enemy as well. Now it's a pretty even fight. I think it's 3 versus 3. And as you can see, this plane isn't the fastest. I'm only climbing slightly, and I'm barely staying above 300 kilometers an hour. with the MC205 you would probably fly far over 400 kilometers an hour at this point. It is really slow. Well, not overall, but compared to other planes, it is not that fast. In my opinion, also 109 F4 or G2 drop performs better. I get the P51, and now I have to choose F82 or P51. I decided to go for the P51. Looking back to it, it probably would have been better to go after the F82, because as we can see, he's the one with 3 kills on the enemy team. But I haven't looked at the stat screen at this point. I heard those engagements, I think they also showed that the concentrated firepower of this plane, with the 20mm in the center and with the 12.7s down here and up on the cowling, it is really good to snipe people with that armament, because everything is concentrated, and if you hit the target, then your damage will be inflicted on a small part of the structure of the enemy plane, and this will ease your kills. It's a bit better than having a spread out armament which will just tickle the whole airplane. It decreases the chance of the survival of the enemy. We will skip ahead a bit now, because the F-82 will just run to the base and rearm and refuel, and my teammate will run out of fuel as well, and he will try to go back to base. I'm pretty sure he would have crashed somewhere, because he told me he only had 1 minute of fuel left or something. And we're back. The F-82 was taking off. I was just circling around the airfield at a greater distance, but I was still watching him. Getting out of line of sight to the enemy is very important in those situations, because people tend to stick to just to the AAA. So kudos to that guy that he even came out of the AAA, because a lot of people just camped the runway. For some reasons he didn't even notice me. I think he only noticed me when I came shoot. I think I shoot. Yeah. So that's it. That's an easy today, or in one flyout, I should say. Which pretty much shows what the G55 is good at: taking accurate shots at enemy planes, and also maneuvering with the enemy. You can turn with a lot of planes, maybe not a Spitfire, but with most other planes you can turn. You cannot outrun them though, so that's a big drawback compared to the MC205. But I still like it. So that's it, guys. See ya.